Barcelona entered the semi-final with fire in their eyes. But just minutes in, the Estadi Olympic Luis Companies was hit with a chilling reality. Inter weren't here to park the bus. They came to strike first. And strike they did. Whatever tactical blueprint Barcelona had was torn to shreds, forcing them to retreat, then regroup and respond from behind. Wave after wave of attacks followed, set pieces brimming with danger, the crossbar shaking, a goal ruled out by VAR, and costly errors that left fans grinding their teeth. Every time Barca seemed to be in control, the match took a sudden, dramatic turn. By the final whistle, neither side held a clear advantage, but everyone knew the real decider would come at the Giuseppe Meazza. That's where a ticket to the Allianz Arena final would be earned. While some fans were still settling into their seats, Marcus Thuram silenced the stadium. It all began with a rapid escape from Barcelona's press down the right wing. Dumfries whipped in a low cross toward the center. Instead of a simple touch, Thuram pulled off a stunning backheel flick, gliding the ball perfectly between Cubarsí and Martinez, past a helpless Szczęsny. It was a moment of audacity, spontaneous yet intentional, exposing the gap between Barca's center-back and full-back. And Inter weren't done. In the 21st minute, they stunned the crowd again. This time, the villain was Dumfries. From a corner, Acerbi flicked the ball at the near post, and it landed at Dumfries' feet. With his back to goal, the Dutch wing-back launched into a bicycle kick, a goal nobody saw coming, from a full-back. And just like that, tactics took a back seat. Inter played with steel and ruthless efficiency. But how did Barca respond? Like a true footballing giant, not with panic, but with genius. In the 24th minute, Lamine Yamal transformed into a nightmare for Inter's defense. Receiving the ball with his back to goal on the right wing, he spun past Henrik Mkhitaryan with the grace of a ballet dancer. A subtle shoulder feint, a curling effort, and Sommer stood frozen as the ball kissed the far post and nestled into the net. 1-2. It was a goal that echoed Messi's magic. But Yamal isn't copying anyone. He's writing his own story. Throughout the first half, he was the most unmissable presence on the pitch, a whirlwind of creativity and chaos, even as DiMarco, Bastoni, and Mkhitaryan took turns trying to contain him. Barcelona smelled blood. In the 38th minute, they struck again. Pedri floated a perfectly weighted ball into the box. Rafinha, instead of shooting, nodded it back across goal. Ferran Torres, arriving unmarked, calmly slotted it home. 2-2. It was a goal built on understanding and structure, showing that Barcelona weren't just relying on moments of brilliance, but functioning as a well-drilled unit. From 0-2 down to 2-2 in just 14 minutes. It was a first half that had it all: grit, elegance, and emotional whiplash. Inter had the match in their grasp, but a brief lapse allowed Barca to claw their way back, roaring like only Champions League contenders can. When the players returned for the second half, neither team held the edge, but the audience knew they had just witnessed 45 minutes of pure cinematic football, where chaos, beauty, and history collided. Simone Inzaghi stuck to his guns. No tactical shifts. Inter remained loyal to their 3-5-2, and it continued to bear fruit. In the 63rd minute, as Barca were beginning to press higher, Inter landed their third blow. From a right-sided corner, Dumfries again rose above the defense, nodding the ball into the net like a seasoned striker. A textbook header. Hansi Flick's men were chasing the game once more. It was Dumfries' second goal of the night, his first goals of the Champions League campaign. And what a time to deliver. The wing-back had turned into a goal machine, tormenting the Barcelona defense with cold precision. But again, Barca refused to crumble. Just 1 minute later, they struck back. From a cleverly worked short corner, Dani Olmo teed it up at the edge of the box. Yamal dummied the ball, letting it roll to Rafinha. The Brazilian didn't hesitate, unleashing a thunderbolt from range. It smashed off the crossbar, ricocheted off Sommer's back, and spun back into the net. A bizarre, cruel goal. Technically an own goal by Sommer, but everyone knew it belonged to Rafinha. A shot of pure venom and intent. More importantly, it marked Rafinha's 20th goal involvement in this Champions League campaign. If Inter had Dumfries as their unexpected hero, Barca had Rafinha, the man who always shows up when it matters. After the 3-3 equalizer, the match turned into a tactical chess game. Inter, content with the draw, withdrew Dumfries and Thuram. Barca probed but couldn't find the final blow. The match ended all square, but the scoreline barely scratched the surface of what unfolded. This was a masterclass in two contrasting philosophies, one rooted in high pressing and spatial control, the other in discipline and devastating counterattacks. And if one player embodied the pure essence of football that night, it was Lamine Yamal. The 24th-minute goal was a masterpiece, pure individual brilliance. But that was just the beginning. Throughout the match, Lamine Yamal danced through chaos like a ballerina on a battlefield. He dribbled through tight spaces with both feet, dropped deep like a playmaker to initiate attacks, and left defenders bewildered. Bastoni and DiMarco each had moments where they simply couldn't keep up. Even Henrik Mkhitaryan, seasoned and smart, was forced to backpedal and resort to fouls. While Yamal was expected to be the protagonist, Denzel Dumfries emerged as the unlikely hero. A physical, hard-working wing-back by trade, Dumfries wasn't in the spotlight before kickoff. But by the time the final whistle blew, his name was echoing across Europe. He set the tone within 30 seconds, assisting Marcus Thuram with a perfect low cross. Then he stunned the crowd with an acrobatic volley to score Inter's second, and in the second half, he rose like a true striker to head home his second of the night. 3 goal involvements, none of them scrappy, all of them decisive. But Dumfries wasn't just about the numbers. He consistently exploited the gap between Barcelona's center-back and full-back, particularly targeting Íñigo Martínez, who looked uncomfortable when dragged wide. Dumfries became the embodiment of Inzaghi's football, relentless, pragmatic, and always ready to strike with precision. Of course, playing well doesn't guarantee a clean sheet, and Jan Sommer knows that better than anyone. The Swiss goalkeeper delivered one of his finest performances since joining Inter, racking up 8 crucial saves, many from point-blank range, some through traffic, others at full stretch. Yet, despite all that, Sommer still found himself on the wrong end of Barcelona's equalizer. Rafinha's thunderbolt smashed off the crossbar, ricocheted off Sommer's head, and spun backward into the net. No positioning error, no mistake, just pure cruel luck. The 3-3 draw doesn't just reset the tie, it sets the stage for an all-out war at Giuseppe Meazza, Inter's fortress, a place where the noise swallows you whole, where every pass is under scrutiny, where mistakes echo louder than cheers. And yet, it also presents Barcelona with the perfect proving ground, a place to show that this generation, Gavi, Pedri, Cubarsí, aren't just brilliant at home, but ice-cold on foreign soil, that they can step into history, not just dream of it. Because in a Champions League semifinal like this, the line between glory and heartbreak isn't drawn by stats. XG, possession, shot count. They're drawn in moments. A flick, a run left unchecked, a seemingly harmless cross. Luis Companies gave us 6 of those moments, and you can bet Giuseppe Meazza will offer just as many, if not more. Barcelona have survived an emotional gauntlet. Inter were tested by fire and did not burn. But to book a place in the final at Allianz Arena, there's zero room for error. The real battle is only just beginning.